I'm not talking about wife, mother. I don't want to know about that. I know that. I can read a bio. Who are you? And she was like, well, explain yourself. And I was like, I don't want to. Because we have this mindset that if we acknowledge our wins, we are cocky, we are boastful, we are all of these things. And
I don't think men feel like that also.
No, right? They're quick to acknowledge their wins.
Okay. Yeah.
You know what I mean? But us as women, that generational thing,
yes.
Stay in your place.
Yes.
But this is my place. This is my place. This is where God placed me. Is it taken away from yours? No. But this is who I am. This is who I was created to be.
Hey you, welcome to Shades of Content, a show that teaches entrepreneurs how to effectively use content to market their business and stay content while doing it. I'm your host, Patrice, a wife, a mom of 3, and a 15-year public relations and marketing professional who decided to open a brick and mortar content studio 4 years ago. And I honestly haven't looked back since. Join me as I share my experiences and the experiences of other entrepreneurs who, like me, are navigating this maze of owning a business, running a family, and trying to stay sane and healthy while doing it. I'll tell you, it's an amazingly challenging journey, but I honestly wouldn't have it any other way. See you soon. Hey y'all, let me ask you a question. Are you a female entrepreneur who waits for the very last minute to prepare for branding photo shoots? And when I say last minute, I mean you are waiting to literally the week of to scour the internet, do Pinterest searches, or even look through your closet only to find a look that you hate how it looked on camera. If you're like me, you have been that person. But no worries, because I have a solution. Curated Styles by Adrienne is your personal brand. She's the answer to all of that. She'll work with you to create a strategic look, like a brand style that really speaks to who you are as a female business owner. And I know it works because I've used her myself, and I like the way I look, if I may say so myself. So if you know that you are in a place as a business owner and you want to level up your look, you want your brand to really speak to who you are, not who you used to be, but like the way that you're going, then you need to tap the link in the show notes and schedule a free 30-minute style session where you talk through kind of how you want to present yourself with Adrienne. Again, the link is in the show notes. And I think at the bottom line is like, we got to be intentional about how we show up, how we look, how we present ourselves. And at the end of the day, when you look good, you feel good. And thank God for people like Adrienne who is skilled in helping you look and feel your best. So again, if you know that you need to really figure out your brand style and what it is that you want your look to say, then you need to tap the link in the show notes and schedule your free style consultation with Adrienne. It's gonna be amazing, and the proof is in the pudding. Okay, welcome to another episode of Shades of Content, the podcast that teaches content marketing to entrepreneurs, but also gives the tips to ensure a content lifestyle. Because when you are an entrepreneur, you go through so many things, so many emotions, so many everything. And so being able to, through all of that, find your place of contentment, your place of peaceful happiness is a journey that I'm on. I'm Patrice. If it's your first time watching, thank you for coming. If you're a return Shades of Content enjoyer, I guess, thank you so much for being here. If you're watching, you see that I have guests. Always so excited to have guests, and I have 2 guests. So before I introduce them, I want to remind you guys, before I remind you, I want to say Happy Women's History Month. We are in March, and just like Black History Month is 24/7, 365, I believe that Women's History Month is 24/7, 365. I believe that Asian American Month, Hispanic, like we have to celebrate the differences and just all the beauty that comes from us all the time. So cheers to International Women's Month, Women's History Month. It's a blessing. And I'm just also happy that, because when I was a kid, I don't remember this being a thing.
No.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's very cool that we're celebrating womanhood and people are having brunches and doing initiatives and highlighting women business owners. So I'm happy that we're here now. To celebrate, make sure you get yourself a copy of Black Girl Holidays. This is the only content calendar and planner that highlights Black women events, milestones, birthdays, 365, what we were just talking about. So the link is in the show notes. Make sure you get your copy. The episodes are always brought to you by Black Girl Holidays. And this is the physical copy. So
it is.
Thank you.
When you
Thank
brought
you.
it out, I was like, oh.
So you can go to blackgirlholidays.com to get your copy. Without further ado, I want to get into this episode because I'm excited, thankful that you ladies are here. We pulled this one together. Ooh, that thing was literally within 24 hours here, okay? Yes. But that just means to me that we were meant to be. We're meant to have this conversation. It was raining this morning, but the sun came out.
The sun always come out.
Listen.
Just give it some time.
Right? So we're supposed to be here. I am always thankful. So my guest today, Bonnie Love, who you guys have seen before. You ended 2021 with the show. I did. So we didn't even wait a quarter to bring you back. It was like, come on. Thank you. And we have a new friend, Miss Viery. I forgot your last name.
That's okay. I am Viery Brandon Nettlesford.
I love it. Okay. So actually, I would love for you ladies to introduce yourself, right? So because you are new here to camp, please introduce yourself. Tell our viewers who you are, obviously about your business.
I'm super excited to be here. Thank you. Thank you for having me. I am Viery Brandon Nettlesford. I am a transitional life and widow coach. So I help women, men, children transition their lives going from one trauma-filled experience to living the best life they can create for themselves, whether it be a person or a widow, because we have to understand the difference, right? And then I am a 2-time best-selling author. My first book is My New Starts Now, which I wrote in 2014. My second book is Wounded, Widowed, and Winning, and that came out in the end of 2021. I'm super excited for these 2 phenomenal books that are really transforming lives. And then I am a coach. What else to it? I'm a woman.
Your mother.
I'm a mother.
She's like,
what else? What else? Gorgeous. I work a full-time job. And be at 41, you know? So all of those things, you know.
I love it. Bonnie Love.
I don't even know how to follow that now. Come on. I wasn't ready for this. I thought you were going, okay. So yes, my name is Bonnie Love Douglas. I have been in business with my husband for almost 11 years. We started D2D Creative, whatever year that was, so do the math. And we help businesses we paint them in a more beautiful light. So, businesses are looking to level up. We do that through video production, branding, photography, and an array of other things. Yes. And then recently I started D2D Focus, where I'm the lead photographer as well. So I am a mom of 2, and then all the other things that come along with it.
All the other things.
All the other things.
But teamwork makes the dream work.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
That's phenomenal.
Facts. Okay, so we talked a little bit about Women's History Month, and I said that it didn't exist. It wasn't a thing back then. Mm-hmm. So I would love for you both to tell me, like, what does Women's History Month, what does International Women's Day, which just passed, what does that mean? What do those things mean to you? Whoever wants to start.
I can start.
Yeah.
So for me, just like you said, we can celebrate, women's history every single day, but it's kind of like with New Year's. I always say I'm a big proponent of New Year's resolutions, because not to say you shouldn't always be striving to be better, but I love to say this day I get to wipe the slate clean, and no matter what challenges I had the year before, this is my going forward, this is what I can do, and this is what I'm envisioning. So for women's history, it's kind of the same thing. I love to celebrate. So give me a reason to
celebrate.
Break open a glass of wine. Hello.
Drink to that.
But I love Women's History Month because, one, you're learning about all these, amazing women that have helped pave the way. And then you have all, like you said earlier, all the brunches and all the good and fun things that you get to do. But yeah, I absolutely love it.
Yeah, I think it's huge to me because I'll tell you a little bit about my story, and you'll discover why it's so big to me. I think it's the epitome of legacy, right? Because I was raised by two phenomenal Black women that were my grand aunts. So I'm Irish and Black, and I never knew my Irish side, right? So I was raised with my Black side. And growing with them laid the foundation to my culture, right? To my spiritual, right, aspect of who I am. And in regards to business, I wrote on my post recently that they were the two first points of contact for entrepreneurship and generational legacy, right? So they came over from Virginia in 1950. They bought up houses all across Brooklyn and Virginia and Maryland, right? And so growing up knowing we can go from one house to another house to another house, it was like, why can't I do it too? Right. So it's literally the epitome of legacy, hands-on, right, up close. And just knowing that there is nothing that stopped them. Sisters came over without men and laid that foundation, right? And so Women's History Month to me is phenomenal, especially when women can come together, work together, and be successful together.
Yeah, I agree. And I think when we talk about this legacy piece, that's something that's been in my mind, I don't know what clicked. And it's like, you know what? And I've said this before. For me, it's about generational wealth. That's a part of it, but it's also about like, when I am gone, what will my kids have of me? Right. And, I think about my grandmother and, my aunts who passed. I don't really have things. I can't hear them anymore. I can't, So now we're in an age where we can create all this content that just lives forever for our kids, right? And so I say that we all have daughters. I have a 4-year-old. You have 2 daughters. You have two daughters. What does it look like for you all as moms, wives, entrepreneurs, content creators, service providers? What does that look like in raising daughters? Are you teaching them entrepreneurship? Are you bringing them with you? Like my daughter's 4, so I have an older son, he's 15. So he'll come with me to things, but like my 4-year-old, like I'll bring her here and she calls this the camp. Like when she comes here, she takes her shoes off. Like this is her second home, right? So I'm obviously, cultivating something in her. But you all with older daughters, as we talk Women's History Month, like what is your business, your legacy look like through their eyes?
I think for me, I brought them, I'm a firm believer in being transparent, right? With your children, of course, with discretion, right? But my children have, because I was a widow for 10 years, my children have seen every step of me going from great to nothing to building. Right. And so being transparent in those moments and allowing them to come with you. Right. I started out as a dancer. Right. And so I danced for 35 years and they've come to every performance. They even participated in some of the stage plays that I've done. Right. Allowing them to intertwine with my life for them to get a feel. Wow, is this what I want to do? Is this something else that I want to do? Do I want to explore this? So my daughters are very much into the arts, right? But also giving them the freedom and liberty to discover who they are as individuals, right? And so I have my degrees up. Education is huge. Like that's first and foremost. You must go to school. But in going to school and discovering all the things that you want to do, you do not have to be like mommy. I'll tell you a story. My youngest daughter, she used to Halloween. We don't celebrate Halloween. So it would be character day. I had my book. So you had to go to school with a book of a character. She would go to school as me. That's legacy. That's legacy. Without even knowing that that's what I was doing for her. She's like, this is my mom and this is her book. And you said I can come to school with a book and a character, right? And so for me, that's what I feel like I'm doing. The oldest one, she's totally different, right?
And how old is she?
She's 16.
16, okay.
And so with her, she's more of the communicator. She'll come to me and say, what do you think about this? And what do you think about this? Because I know you've done this or you've been through this. So allowing those open forms of communication, right? Creating those platforms where they can come to you and those spaces where they can come to you and talk to you. For me, that's what I think, sowing into your children and your daughters is about.
Yeah.
Same. Like everything she said, I absolutely agree with. And that's the same thing. I think the last time we were here, we kind of talked about this, and it's the same thing. Like, my kids, if we're going through, we have a new financial advisor that we hired like maybe a year and a half ago. And so we're going through all these processes. And this year we're dedicating to like really figuring out, retirement. I'm 30, I'm about to be 40. My husband's like 43, 42. And so we're like, okay, we're entrepreneurs, we're in business together. What is retirement going to look like for us? And so we're trying to plan everything, and we're trying to figure out, what we're going to do with our business and all these things. And I know a lot of times people are in business and they plan to leave the business for the kids.
Right.
I would love if my kids took over one of the businesses. That would be awesome. I even if one of my nieces or nephews, but I don't expect that. I don't push it on them. But what I do is I make sure that any skill set that I have, they will learn it. And, one of the things that I do is photography. And you have to have an eye for photography. You can learn to be a photographer. It doesn't mean you're going to be successful. My kids are, and I know everyone thinks your kids are like, all these things, but my kids are,
they're pretty dope.
My kids are very creative, artistic. They're go-getters. They
got it honest.
Yes.
Clearly.
So I know they could be phenomenal. Also, I've seen what they could do with my camera, right? So I'm teaching them these skills because I always think like, when you're going through college and you're like you have all these things going on, and then you're trying to juggle a job and do all this, because I expect my kids to have a job. Like, they need to learn responsibility and that grind and the grit of trying to get things done and still have some income. And so I want them to have those photography skills, because it's something that will always be useful. It's something you can always get paid for. And, but I don't expect them to do. I want to create, what my husband and I have been doing is that we invite them and they see what we're doing. We give them jobs now. They're both about to be employees of our business, even though one is only 8, one is 13. The 13-year-old has been working with us since she was 12. She does small little jobs, but she loves it, and she's able to tell everyone she's been working since she's 12. She tells her friends that all the time. She loves it. So I'm teaching them those things, not this is how you do our business, but this is, you know what I mean? And then all the entrepreneur things that doesn't matter what business you have, it's the same. We're teaching them along the way also. So I don't, and it's not necessarily that I want them to become entrepreneurs, because I don't have to tell you guys that. Yeah, you already said it. I don't have to tell you that, and I don't wish it on everyone, because some people cannot handle it, and that's okay. Some people are meant to be amazing at what they do for someone else, and that is 100% okay. There's nothing wrong with that. So if my kids want to become an entrepreneur, they're already getting a taste for it now. Yeah. So
from the best person that can teach them.
Right.
So when we talk about, as women, like, we just have different things that we deal with. I don't like to say deal with, because that kind of feels like you're like, oh, I'm just reactively taking things versus just going through life. But we just have different circumstances that we endure. And with kids comes, all of us are married, right? You're in business with your husband. Your husband's here right now, which is the sweetest thing, right?
And I told my husband he couldn't come, and he's gonna be so mad when he knows. I'm like, oh shit,
because he can't go with me everywhere.
No, I love it.
Right? And so when he's available, I want him to be here with me. You know what I mean? So show him this is what I'm doing. And the beauty of it is that, unlike, you don't always have to agree. You can respect.
This episode is brought to you by Black Girl Holidays, the content planner and calendar that highlights Black women, Black girl magic 24/7, 365. And you guys, all new for 2022, Black Girl Holidays is not only a calendar like it was before, but it's also a full planner, okay? Get your Black Girl Holidays content calendar or planner today by visiting www.blackgirlholidays.com, and make sure you use that Shades of Content coupon code so you can get a percentage off. Again, blackgirlholidays.com, or just tap the link in the show notes, y'all. Ooh. That's a bar. So with that, so we have these women who are super focused, super, we are providing, we are doing what we love. I would assume we all really do enjoy this entrepreneurial endeavors. Yeah. We're serving people. We're like honestly honoring our best selves. Yes. Yeah. But then we also have to be wife. And my husband said to me, we had a real conversation this morning. And I said, I'm in a season right now where I have to be laser focused on the business. And so if there's stresses or if there are things that are going on with us, I honestly don't have the capacity to deal with that right now, because I feel like these 12 months are going to be the game changer. I've never felt like this before.
Oh, you're in
I've
a good
never
place.
felt like this before, right?
You guys are in good places.
It feels great, but I don't want to slight. And he was like, I'm not sure I understand that. And that's fair. We should be able to have that open line of communication. Yeah. So I don't know what the question is. I don't know if you all have been there, but I'm in that season now where I don't know if I can physically, mentally give everything to this right here and still make sure my husband feels seen and loved and supported, because he needs that. Yes. And still make sure my 3 kids do what they need to do too. Yes. Like how are we getting through that?
It's called balance. I'm so excited about this, right? So I was speaking to my sister the other day, and she, as we all are, deal with something, right? Like you said, right? You have to learn how to compartmentalize, right? What do you mean? Okay. The woman, the warrior, and the wife. So when I said that to her, that thing resonated inside of me. I was like, oh, do I got another book? Don't try to take my stuff.
It's already in progress.
It's already in progress. The woman, the warrior, and the wife. And the beauty of this is you can change that last to anything. You can change it to the widow. You can change it to the winner. But that last part, everything you do before it pours into the last part, right? So you have the woman. Well, what is my capacity as a woman? What can I do? What can I take on? What do I say no to? Because those no's are important. Those no's are groundbreakers, right? And so if I can say no to this, then I can give those next two my attention, right? And then you have the warrior. That's what we are as women, right? Warriors are born and built. Because a lot of times, those that aren't born from strong foundations, they still turn into warriors because they're built into them, right? And so the warrior is being able to balance all 3. Now, do we do this? No. Are we perfect? No, because we're always learning, right? But it's with those transparent conversations. It's with those honest statements to say, I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, well, let me explain it to you as the warrior, not the woman, because the woman is naturally emotional. So we can't do that. We can't explain it to our husbands in our emotions because they're not built that way. They're going to be like, why are you so emotional? Why are you crying?
Why are you crying?
Right?
My husband just doesn't even, he's just like,
looks, right?
okay.
What's going on? Did I do something wrong? So we can't explain it in that capacity.
Right.
We have to explain it in the word where we're postured properly. We can say, you know what? This is what's going on. Let me explain it to you in this way. Then you got the wife. And it's like the wife is the soft. The wife is like, here I am, whatever you need. I'm going to give it to you because I have compartmentalized the first 2. And so now I'm available to give you that part. Even when they are struggling, because they're human. Right. They're human too. So we have to be understanding. Yeah. We have to be available. Yeah. And like I said, it's a learning process. But always remember, in this season, you have to remember, where am I right now? Am I dealing in the wife? Am I dealing in the warrior? Or am I dealing in the woman? Right. And you'll be able to communicate more effectively.
Yeah, that's real. Yeah. That's real. And with you working with your husband,
so that's a lot.
Right now, so we have 2 businesses, right? And the first business is the one, D2D Creative. That's the one that we're approaching 11 years. And And then we have the second business that is my baby.
Yeah.
So the first one was like,
Branching out.
it was like his baby. And then the second one, this is my, like, I'm so passionate about it.
Yes.
I'm like excited about it. But I'm trying to run both of those businesses. And we're still working on getting people to help and support the first business, right? And so that I can then look, kind of keep pushing with the second. That has been a struggle. Then I'm in an entrepreneurial, business program right now. Goldman Sachs, I was telling you earlier.
Oh, the 100 Women
The
in Business?
10K. No, this one is called 10K business.
Okay.
10K small business.
Yes,
Goldman Sachs.
Wow. Yeah.
This it's like I'm in college all over again.
I went through the course.
My
I used
God.
to work for Goldman.
Okay.
In New
So
York,
so this is like a
It's
4-month
dope.
program. It's ridiculous, but it's great. It's great, ridiculous, but it's pushing me. And I want to pull my hair out on a daily basis. In between that, I'm like clients, I have to redo everything because not only that with the pandemic, it changed everything. So we had one schedule and then they switched it to virtual and they made them instead of longer days in person, they made them little, shorter sessions throughout the week. So now I'm like, oh my God, I have work I have to actually do.
Yeah.
So trying to balance the 2 jobs with this new thing that I'm doing, right? And then I have a 13-year-old, right? New teenager that's going through all the emotions. And an 8-year-old that is going through all the emotions. And then my husband that's going through the pandemic and is not like out and about not that he's out and about like that much, but still, it's all of those things. And so what I have told, what has been working a little bit is not the 100%, but first of all, I tell my husband, I feel like I'm gonna cry today, so just letting you know now, I feel like I'm about to cry. When I say that, he knows I need to do something, whether it's ordering dinner, whether it, you know what I'm saying? Like they know the house needs to be clean. If the house is not clean, I'm gonna lose my shit.
Me too.
I literally feel horrible if my house is not clean. Yeah. And we do have a cleaning person, but then when the height of the pandemic came, I had to put them on pause. I was like, I don't want extra people in my house. And she has a whole crew now, which I'm happy for her that she's there in her business. But I'm like, you guys can't be coming up in here. This is my
My sanctuary.
Yeah. So it's all those things. But then in addition to that, I also have told my kids, I have been learning, especially with my 13-year-old, it's so hard to get through to her. She's an Aries and she's so,
Oh, my daughter too.
goodness, the 13-year-old?
Yes.
Oh, girl. So we definitely need to exchange numbers because I need a vent. So, Jesus, I love her. She's the most amazing person, I swear. But this girl gives me the blues. And she's a straight A student. She's on honors. She just got accepted into her high school of choice through honors program. She's amazing. Don't get it,
Yeah.
But she tries me.
Oh,
And
yeah.
she's stubborn and she's an Aries. That's all I can say because I know I have 3 very close family members that are Aries. I just know it's an Aries thing. But I have found, she has to be able to relate to the things that I'm asking her to do or the way I'm saying things. So I switch it and I put it on her to give her like, well, what if this was going on with you? How would you feel? And then it's like an aha moment with her. And she was like, okay, what do I need to do? So like I had her make dinner recently. In a text I said, you know what would really help me today? I really need you to make dinner. And I already knew what she was gonna say. I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to do that. She acts like she can't do anything. I already had I had made the whole recipe. You turn the thing to the right and I had step by step. She didn't even have an excuse.
Right.
And she did it for me. And when she was done with it, I said, do you know how good that made me feel? That I did not have to do the dinner and I could focus on what I needed to get done. Do you know how that made me feel? Game changer. And I just started that. I just started with that and that has helped me with my balance. And then the other thing too is like taking care of me.
Self-care.
Yeah, because even though as much as I am dealing with all these things and I'm like, I don't have time, I'm gonna feel depressed and like, have all this anxiety because I'm not taking care of myself. Right. So I have to carve in that time to work out. For me, it needs to be working out because I just don't feel good about myself if I'm not working out. So though, kind of just trying to figure it out. But I don't feel like there's no handbook.
Well, I want to that brings up a good point. So I'm in the season of like connecting with people. Like
that's great.
We're long overdue. But like I think I used to be kind of standoffish because I would just be like, no, I'm fine. We don't need to go out. I don't need to, but I do. Like, I need to know my tribe, and I need to be able to like just sit and talk with them and just like vent and share, and that's it, you know? And so I did that yesterday with someone that I had known before, but we had never really sat down. We have a mutual friend. We're sorority sisters. She's older, but we just went to dinner, and it was so great. And so one thing she said to me was so she had to think about, in talking with her therapist, she had to think about what she needed to do to restore. She works in education, so you're dealing with that. She was getting a house built. We're in the pandemic, just like a lot. Yeah. So she needed to figure out what she needed to do to restore. And so her therapist said, what is that? And she's like, the spa. However, we can't go to the spa every day, but we have to restore ourselves daily. And in getting her home built, she put all the bells and whistles in the bathroom. Love it. The heated floor, the multi, right? And so now the spa is in her home. So she's able to go into her house, into her bathroom, into her spa, right? And do it every day. And then when she can go to the spa, she can go to the spa. Yeah. And so that got me to thinking, well, goddamn, what do I do? And for me, honestly, that shower it is so important to me. Like, I make sure even if I took a shower the night before, I still take one in the morning because it just helps me. Like, yes, you know? So in thinking, and now I'm going to start actively thinking about what can I do every day that brings me like peace, a little peace, right? And so with that, I asked of you ladies, like, what does self-care look like? Like, so working out is important to me. I'm working out 4 to 5 days a week. I talk about it on my Instagram.
Girl, you
I'm not playing with these people.
You are doing it too.
So that helps. Conversations help, right? Like this, when I think about it, this is more than just a podcast. Yes. Like, I am literally learning from every single person I talk to. Yeah. And I know that people are gleaning something from it, right? So these conversations, even when I don't be wanting to come, right. I'm so happy I'm here. And then like kind of figuring out those other things. So of you all, have you guys actively thought through what you need to be whole, care? And I feel like your situation, which I would love to talk about as a widow, I can't imagine what that process looks like, or looked. Yeah. Like just how do you take care of yourself? You know,
for me, honestly, it's prayer for me, right? Like, if I don't pray, I feel like I'm off balance, because in those times of meditation, in those times of sitting in silence, I'm learning more about me, right? And I'm learning what I can do better, because ultimately I want to be a better me. And so if I can be a better me, I can be a better presenter. I can be a better educator. I can be a better wife, a better mother, right? I can be a better employee if I'm a better me. And so when I sit in those moments by myself, and I just sit and I'm like, I tell my clients, sit with yourself for a moment. Have you really ever just sat with you? And if you do, you'll find yourself starting to cry, because you'll reflect on all the insecurities, on all, don't cry.
No, girl, that's so real.
Where the tissues?
I've been spending a lot of time.
If you cry, I'm doing something right.
You're doing something right. Let it flow.
Yes. But really, if you sit in those moments with yourself, you will find out how imperfect you are and how perfect God is making you. Right? And so for me, I sit in those moments. I get frustrated in those moments because I'm like, oh, I could have did it this way. Oh, I'm not the same person I used to be, because if I was, that's real talk, right? Because I used to be a fighter. I grew up fighting for my life. I fought for freedom, right? And so being able to pull down those walls and really see me the way God sees me, I'm like, I could do this. I can take on the world, you know? Now exercising, I'm getting to. I mean, I gained about 40 pounds in the pandemic, but for me, literally, it's prayer first, right? Prayer and meditation. And then after prayer and meditation, then it's being with my family, because we are women entrepreneurs and we don't have a lot of time. And so the time that I am spending with my husband, who's here and supporting me, and the times that I am spending with my daughter at basketball games, and the times that I'm just sitting down.
She's stealing my answers. So this is not fair. You stealing all my answers.
My bad. And I'm like, wait a minute, stop. No.
Everything she said. I pray. I want to be at my girls' basketball games. I meditate. Dang.
That means
What am I
you
supposed to say? Right? That's why I wanted to be here.
We were meant to meet. That's why we have kindred spirits. That's all.
I mean, no, seriously.
Like, shut up,
the more she
Miley.
talking, well, I ain't gonna have nothing left to say. Say something for me. Dang. You are crazy. I was just drinking. No, I'm joking. Go ahead, talk to both of us, girl. Listen, I'm gonna keep drinking. You gonna
Everything is for her
A
too.
mess, right.
Yeah,
Yeah, you already was on the show, so you kind of, you know what I'm saying?
I'm not with y'all.
Oh my God.
What she said. Go back to December, okay?
See, this is why it's so important to link up with people that you just, and it's such a beautiful thing. We never met. We literally, I didn't even invite you directly. I invited you being your publicist. We never even emailed.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, like this literally was the first interaction. And so just
You want some tissue?
see, I'm laughing. I'm laughing.
Completely different.
Completely different. You know what I'm saying? So we're here together. It's just such a beautiful thing. But I say all that to say also why it's important to open yourself up. And as wives and moms and business owners, I can speak for myself. I think we do feel pulled in so many directions. And it's just so easy to be like, no, I can't.
Oh, yeah.
And sometimes you do need to do that. But sometimes there's these opportunities that when you just open yourself up, and I'm saying that's open myself up to my husband, to my kids, even when I'm just like, oh, y'all done work my last nerves. But sometimes you just gotta breathe because so much beauty can be on the other side, you know, and just like releasing, because also we're in control of a lot of things.
Yes.
But
and
like,
we aren't in control
we
of a
aren't.
lot of things.
And you said it earlier when it was listening to that solitude and listening to God and just hearing what He's telling you to do. And as hard as it is, knowing that He knows what's best.
Even outside of what you really want to do. Girl, that part, outside of what you really want to do, honey, and then the reservation in like what you did. Can I say that for her? I'm going to say something. She's like, what you about to say? The courage to birth your baby is powerful in itself. Because so many of us were like, you know, I got my husband, I'm working with my husband, we doing the dang thing, right? But the courage it took you to step out and birth the baby inside of you. And listen, so many women would not have done that. And so I honor you for doing that, right? And so
Yeah, it's time for me to listen.
She gives you the tip. But that's real. That's real.
Yeah.
Let me ask you another question, because this just popped into my head. Does your path where you are now look like what you thought it would look like?
girl, no.
What did you think? Like when you
I didn't never think I was
you
going to
didn't
be a
even think this,
photographer.
right?
I never. Now,
You never had a passion for photography?
No.
Wow.
no, not at all. In fact, my husband was the one, and he would try to give me the camera. I'm like, no. I did video, yes. But I like photography, I was like, no. I would be working with other photographers in the studio, and they would try to show me things with the lighting. I said, oh, no, it's okay. I would never. Because even if I did, it would be outdoors. I would be a natural light photographer. Please don't waste your time. It's okay. I would never. This is, no. And now I'm like,
Can't imagine it. Like without it.
Can't imagine. So the only thing that I knew, I come from like a line of entrepreneurs. Both of my parents are entrepreneurs. My grandfather immigrated here from Mexico and California, and he's plumbing, like he's done everything. Wow. So my whole life, that's all I knew. So this was built inside of me since I was a little girl, and I've always done different businesses. So that I already knew. But no, like today to have my 2 businesses, no.
Was there
Not at all.
resistance? Like, and as you go into, so obviously there was that resistance when you're like, oh no, I don't want to take them pictures. But as you're starting to go into this path of, you know what, D2D focus is a thing. Was there ever a point where you was like, maybe not? Or were you just kind of like, you know what, I'm gonna just go with it?
You know what happened for me with D2D Focus? I didn't need it. I didn't need it. I had D2D Creative.
Yeah.
I mean, we've been in business at that point, we had been in business for a solid 8-9 years. Full time, have clients, purchase our, 2 homes so my kids are private. I didn't need to do this. This was just something for me. This is something, because I was like, I'm good at this. I can do this and I could, make some money too. Like, hey, why not? Like, I loved it. So it wasn't something that I needed to do. And this was the first time. I'm a perfectionist. I am one of those people. Yeah, I'm one of those people that am always self-doubting. I didn't go to school for this. This person's way better than me at this, whatever. And I care what everyone thinks about me, but mostly I care what other professionals in my industry think about me. And with this company, I finally said, not to say that any of those things aren't in the back of my head, but I don't let those things stop me from moving forward.
Good.
And this business, because of the other business, I've used all my knowledge, and this business is like full throttle. And like I say 1 year because I said the studio space, like for one good year, I've been doing it before that, but last year was the first year that I really took it seriously, and it's been amazing. So I feel like, putting down those things and not having all those voices in my head and just keep going because it's what made me happy.
Yes.
And not only did it make me happy, but the best thing for me is doing for others.
Yes.
And so when I'm able to make people happy through photos, and it's not just like, my photo looks great. It's like during the session, the way that they feel.
Yes.
They come and they're nervous. They don't know what, you know what I mean? And like that, getting the, afterwards, like all the comments and testimonials from people, that's what keeps me going. So
for me, it's kind of twofold, right? Because like you had your first business. And for me, I traveled the world with dance. And I transform lives through dance, right? When I dance, people cry, and I'm like, oh my God, I'll never be the same, But then there was a huge insecurity because I had a speech issue. And so I remember the first time I had to stand up in church and read the announcements. I was like, and I was so nervous, right? Not knowing that was paving the way, though that training ground, right? And so speaking, it grew over time, but being a coach, like a certified life and widow coach, to really dig deep into people's lives and to help them transform, no, never in a million years. But it was always being done through other areas in my life, right? Like you said, this is what you came from. And so I was always doing it, but never had a title to it. And that part was different for me. Will people take me seriously? Will people buy in to what I have to say? Will people, and I think that my life being on public display, people seeing me broken publicly, and people seeing me bounce back publicly, that helped.
The publicly by choice, because you were sharing
By choice.
the process. Got it.
I literally shared my entire widow process online and was like, here it is.
and that must have been so therapeutic for you as well.
No.
It wasn't?
No. I was embarrassed a lot of the time.
But you were still sharing.
I had to do it. I don't know. It was something
That was
inside
God.
of me. It was it was something inside of me that was like, y'all Negroes don't even deserve what I have to give. That's where I was. And there was, and I talk about in my new book.
Which is linked in the show notes.
Yes.
Yes.
I talked about being angry with God and how it was like, how can you call me to a people and I'm being broken by the same people? Right? But there's purpose being developed. And so for me, I feel like I would have never imagined the platforms and the stages that I've been able to present on. No. Because we're normal. We're regular people, right? We're tangible. You can touch us. We feel. But a lot of people don't see that part.
Most people don't. That's, I think as we talk about this 12, like where I am right now, I think the first part is not acknowledging what you have done. That is something that is very difficult for me to do. As I approach year 4 of this brick and mortar, I look back to year 3, and I was talking to my assistant a year ago, and I was just like, oh yeah, we should probably do something. She was like, what do you mean you should celebrate? It's 3 years. Like, go buy yourself something. I was like, oh, okay. Like, I just don't acknowledge the wins or the process. And I don't know
why. To keep going if you're not going to acknowledge it, right?
But a lot of entrepreneurs don't.
We don't.
I got both of our anniversaries.
Because we do.
Yeah.
And we don't really sit in those moments where we win.
We don't, because and I'm speaking from experience, I feel like if I focus on the win, then I'm taking time away from focusing on getting to the next goal.
I feel like that's part of the self-care. You have to care in your business as well. And then not only that, in you celebrating and posting, being a content creator, that's also showing other people, right, that if you stick to something, if you're passionate about something, that this can be you too in 3 years.
But I think that comes with building your tribe, because your tribe helps you in those areas that you feel like you can't do. Keisha asked me,
Keisha, before you say that,
yes,
Keisha, who we love, who was on the show. I don't remember the episode, but Keisha is an amazing publicist. She's the owner of the PR Alliance, child.
It's getting
shout out to the Rose. So Keisha was my publicist for the Black Girl Holidays, and now she's your publicist, and she's the connection. So part of the tribe, not to cut you off, but I wanted to make sure I plugged her, our girl.
And your tribe opens doors that you can't get into.
That part,
right? So acknowledging and appreciating your tribe is important, but they pick up on things that you don't want to acknowledge, because she said, "Who are you?" And I was like, that's so crazy, because that's the first question I ask my clients. We can't move to the next session until you tell me who you are. I'm not talking about your title.
Right.
I'm not talking about wife, mother. I don't want to know about that. I know that. I can read a bio. Who are you? And she was like, well, explain yourself. And I was like, I don't want to. Because we have this mindset that if we acknowledge our wins, we are cocky, we are boastful, we are all of these things. And
I don't think men feel like that also.
No, they're quick to acknowledge their wins.
Okay. Yeah.
You know what I mean? But us as women, that generational thing, stay in your place. Yes. But this is my place. This is my place. This is where God placed me. Is it taken away from yours? No. But this is who I am. This is who I was created to be. And so putting your shoulders back and putting your chin up, as Black women, as women, it's a powerful thing. Yeah. So who are you? Oh, well, I am. And they say, Viry the Brandon, because nobody can be me. Nobody can be you. Only you can create camp space and the way you created it, and open doors for content creators.
Right.
They can mimic you. But they can't be you.
You're absolutely right. I think I'm getting there. I'm trying to acknowledge that. Like, and you have to plant. That's it. Like, you have to put it in your calendar. I'm like, the 24th is the birthday, so we have to start talking about it now. And I've also made a decision that thankfully the anniversary always falls around spring break. So last year, me and my family were on vacation during our anniversary. This year, we will be on vacation. So every year for our anniversary, I will not be in here.
Right.
I'm going to be on a trip.
Celebrating
with my family.
Let's celebrate with her.
Well, cheers to year 4. 4 is also my angel number. I see 4 for 4 all the time.
Oh, nice.
All right, now, y'all, don't forget to connect with Shades of Content on Instagram @Shades of Content, and with me, Patrice Camo, @Patrice Camo. And also be sure to rate this show, leave a review, and subscribe, because that's actually the only way that we're going to grow. I'll see you next week.